Welcome to Dead to Cinema. I'm Brian Gillis.
And I'm Steven Maltmanex.
Like most people, we love going to the theater and catching latest releases. However, you can sadly put a big dent in your wallet.
Fortunately, living in the digital age makes the viewing possibilities endless from the comforts of home.
Many of these films that you can see right from your couch, we're ashamed to say we miss, despite labeling ourselves cinephiles.
So join us as one or both of us cross off a title from our list of shame.
It can be an all-time essential classic,
or an underrated piece of cinema that's worth giving a shot.
Hell, it might just be some trashy film we want the others' opinion on. So sit tight and join us as we pay off our debts, $1 at a time.
The Mummy. Is it dead or alive? Human or inhuman? You'll know. You'll see. You'll feel the awful, creeping, crawling terror that stands your hair on end and brings a scream to your lips. There's nothing on earth like the Mummy.
You will not remember what I show you now, and yet I shall awaken memories of love and crime and death.
Now I know his horrible plan. He is going to kill her and make her a living mummy like himself.
Believe it or not, I haven't seen most of these Universal monster films. I've seen all the reboots.
That's where you and I differ, was that I saw this one, you saw the remake, and now we're both on the same page.
We might both see the remake, remade, or reboot, or whatever you want to say.
I
But
don't know.
I'd actually seen some of this one before. TCM was running like a Mummy marathon. They were doing the Mummy, the Hand, the Mummy. Like, I think there's like 3 or 4. I don't think they did the Hammer films. And so I saw the first, 7 minutes or something like that, and I just couldn't buy into it. I kind of walked out the room like, this is a fucking joke. This is supposed to be a scary movie. This is, quote unquote, horror.
It's not a scary. I mean, it's spooky. I mean, it has a really cool
spooky,
atmosphere.
But you literally have this guy who laughs himself to insanity. Like, it's comedic at best.
No, seriously, yeah, by
supposed
today's
to be...
standards. I think, though, back then, keep this in mind, like, there is no music when this is happening. Imagine the gasps happening in the theater just on that iconic shot when Boris Karloff is just opening his eyes.
The sarcophagus,
Yeah, which, I mean, that is the peak of this movie. You know, after that...
No, the peak of this movie is that close-up that you get 4 times.
I like that close-up, too, but that one shot where he's wearing the rags, you know, like, just, I mean, they spent... I think
7 hours or something
9 or
crazy.
8 hours. They spent so much time putting that makeup on, and then they had to shoot, and he had to keep it on for about 6 or 7 hours. Then it took 2 hours to take off. He's on record for saying that that's probably the most unpleasant experience in his life, just to go through all that to shoot that. But that makeup was so fucking good in that shot.
It's like his only complaint is that they didn't give him a fly on the costume. Which I totally buy, because it's like, come on, if you're sitting that long in the makeup and you gotta take a piss, what do you have like a catheter and you're just gonna piss out like your pant leg or something? It's beyond that. So I've seen The Invisible Man. We did an episode on that for Dollar Reviews last year.
Yeah,
this is the only other one now. I haven't seen Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. I haven't seen Dracula.
I have not seen Wolfman.
I haven't seen. Have you seen Wolfman?
I have not.
I have. Because I remember I was curious, because I'm such a Claude Rains fan.
Well, together we complete them.
You own the box set. You
I gave it away,
had it.
actually.
Yeah, you gave it away.
Yeah.
I would think if you had it, you would watch them all. But I undoubtedly will. Maybe what I'll do is just take it out of a page of this book, wait for these Dark Universe films to come out so I can actually catch up, you know, Wolfman and Invisible Man notwithstanding. Because I think it's the right way to go, especially with the kind of like the in-betweeners. But this one probably has the most interesting creative team. It's a Universal picture, and it's like the end of their first, if you want to like borrow Marvel's terminology, phase of their horror films. This is 1932. This is exactly a year after Dracula, and it's Boris Karloff at like the peak of his career. He'd already been Frankenstein, but this is a pretty weird one. Like I said, just creatively, Boris Karloff, like one of the biggest actors of the era, especially in terms of the horror movies and like just creature features. But from the other side of the camera, you got Carl Freund, who is not known as a director. This is pretty much his only known film, this and like Mad Love.
But he was the DP on Dracula. He really brought that atmosphere to the
more
table.
than that, He's one of the most acclaimed directors of photography of all time. He did Fritz Lang's Metropolis. He helped create the 3-camera TV sitcom system used most notably on things like I Love Lucy. And then even better than that, he was the director of photography for a Dead of Cinema pick from our actual remake series. He did A Guy Named Joe. So despite being Austrian, escaping during the war, coming to America, and basically doing what all of those guys did at that time frame of just taking this advanced camera work that they're doing in European countries and bring it to Hollywood cinema, kind of creating this new wave almost before the new Hollywood, he got lucky enough because of his work on Dracula that Carl Laemmle Jr. said, hey, how about you direct something? But it gets even crazier than that. We talked about this last week during the reboot of The Mummy, the first reboot of The Mummy, the 1999 one with Brendan Fraser, which also stars Imhotep and Anck-se-Namun, that they set that during the King Tut craze, that it takes
when they
place.
Discovered it,
yeah. It's like 20s to 30s, the same era that this film takes place, 1921 to 1932. But what's crazy here is the guy that actually wrote the screenplay, John L. Ballerston, was actually a reporter for the New York Times during the King Tut excavation. Like, this is someone who saw it firsthand. He experienced it. He took that life experience, that crazy experience, and was inspired by the curse that was set upon all of the people that excavated that sarcophagus, something that, mind you, I noted last week. I actually got experience at LACMA. I think that was 2008. I have a T-shirt still. It's awesome. I'll never forget it.
But I mean, this is what is so actually interesting about it, is that compared to what Universal was doing with Dracula and Frankenstein, those are based
Adaptations,
on those are adaptations from a different source material. Like, this is
100%
taken
real.
From real tales and just from real artifacts. And I mean, it's sort of, but not really, kind of like Jurassic Park in the sense where it's kind of taking monsters that are essentially real, although. Or at this time, they could have been believed to be real at that point if you're superstitious enough, and it's all hearsay. I mean, dinosaurs, it's different, but I don't know.
What you're saying. It's almost like historical science fiction. You're taking something that is real,
it's a play on things that we know were there.
When you take something that was hot like mummification in this time frame, and then you just spice it up with their king of horror going on, you get one of their better known monster actors. You pair them with most of the cast from Dracula, because I know Van Helsing's in this, and so is Barker. It's like the 3 stars. Plus Boris Karloff, and then you have the DP of that directing this thing. It literally opens with the same Swan Lake overture for that credit.
Seriously.
It just works so well, too. It's almost crazy. What's funny here, though, is despite the Brendan Fraser films, at least the first 2, using Imhotep and Ardith Bey, even if Ardith Bey in that one is, a completely different character. It's not like a Bruce Wayne Batman type deal. In the sequels to this film of the era that didn't star Boris Karloff, they didn't even use Imhotep. They used some other guy named Ferris or something.
Well, they're not direct sequels. It's a franchise, but it wasn't until I think 8 years or something, like in 1940, where they started making them, and they weren't directly related though. They were just keeping the franchise going and
using this guy in toilet paper walking.
I think it was more just guys wearing rags rather than just this guy. That's because this is definitely what the Brendan Fraser Stephen Sommers remake was closely based on. They just took those ingredients,
spiced it up.
And they spun it its own way.
They made it into a blockbuster. They made it more fun. They made it more campy. They made it a swashbuckling adventure. They borrowed from Indiana Jones. They put a better love interest in there, because come on, I know this is pre-code, but this is real fucking tame.
No, it's no one cares about them. I mean, it's just what is it? The lead, the Helen.
Yeah.
Part Egyptian, I guess, just for the sake of it. And
there's a really interesting story there, though, that they just scrapped for whatever reason. They shot sequences that showed her character, the actual princess, Senamun, reincarnated through time. There was like a Viking period, a French Legion period. There was actually a story thread there where it was kind of articulated that this is the same princess. This is her, and she's just living again and again and again without a curse or anything, just naturally, and that this literally is her. That it just isn't someone that has like a quarter Egyptian heritage that kind of really looks like the princess that he's still in love with. And it was something that's supposed to be in the movie, and they just left out. But yeah, they made a lot of these. They made The Mummy's Hand in 1940, The Mummy's Tune in 42, The Mummy's Ghost in 44, and then The Mummy's Curse in 44 as well.
And then there's also Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Later
That's
in the 50s.
55.
And then there's also Frankenstein. And then there's the Hammer films that followed.
Exactly. Like, even before the Brendan Fraser franchise, they had 3 or 4 remakes that Hammer did in the 50s as well. So this was a real popular character. Like I said, not Imhotep, but Karis, like the secondary mummy, the one that's actually known better off, which is kind of confusing. But then look how long the 1999 reboot series was, too. They made 3 direct films. They made 4 Scorpion King movies, and now they're doing it again after doing theme park rides and t-shirts and animated
that's still
series.
popular, honestly.
Right? Well, time's
for
gonna
a
tell on that. We'll
straight-to-video
find out on
franchise,
Sunday.
yeah, it's I have not seen any of those. Aside from just the one that was in theaters, but yeah.
I might have seen the second Scorpion King, I want to say.
You might have?
I might have. It's one of those films I'm not sure if I saw it or not, but chances are I did just because. But yeah, this movie's weird. I like the look of it. I mean, it's super short, too. It's 80 minutes.
Less than that. It's 73, I think. But I mean, it's not really horror. Maybe at the time it scared people, it creeped them out. And yeah, I mean, it's really spooky, though, just the silence and then those shots that linger on Boris Karloff. Right when he opens his eyes and his face is just twitching, it's really, really fucking creepy. And the over-the-top laughing kind of kills it.
I get the joke. It's like he laughed himself to hysteria. They had to lock him up.
He's the one character that you just know is going to die right away.
I mean, the thing that this movie does do in comparison to Wolfman and Invisible Man is Imhotep is a bad guy. He is reaching through this pool and giving people heart attacks. He kills 2 or 3 different people. But that's pretty fucked up. He makes a Nubian servant his slave because he's scared of his ring.
He does do messed up stuff, but at the end of the day, yeah, he's the antagonist, but I'm not exactly convinced that he's the bad guy.
He's not a bad guy. Really he's just troubled.
It's just a story about a guy that just wants to bring his girlfriend back.
Yeah,
that's it. And
I wouldn't even say it's his girlfriend.
But I'm paraphrasing
his lover,
but that's essentially what it is. Is that here's someone who just really thinks that he'll find happiness when he brings her back, and that's actually part of what I think is actually pretty deep about this, just based on the way that this ends up.
It's a tragic love story like most of these Universal films are, which is probably the strong point.
Well,
Maybe not Frankenstein until Bride of Frankenstein, but
Dracula, I don't remember it that well, but I think that's just more of a straight up monster movie that we're it's kind of the same plot, really, where just Dracula wants a bride, but this is, there's more of
the Nina Harker character, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, though, Dracula is just pure evil incarnate, whereas here it's just Imhotep doesn't really care about anybody else. He just wants this one thing. He's not out there to get at anybody.
Yeah, that's what's weird, I think, especially in the new one, but better yet, the 1999 one, where that Imhotep is, doing these plagues. He still has the same goal in mind.
Yeah, he has that goal, but then they add that, but he can unleash a whole plague around the world, and he's going to destroy everything. And it's okay, I guess you got to up the scale because it's an adventure and a blockbuster.
Because this is it's the same movie though. If you really look at it,
no, it is.
Imhotep did something bad. He wasn't supposed to do it. They mummified him alive and put him in a sarcophagus. But it just so happened that by discourse of humanity, and he was unearthed, that he is back walking again, and he still just wants his girlfriend back. He just wants, for whatever reason, and he's not happy enough with the way things go.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I really love about this Imhotep, just in comparison. There's a 9-year gap, or a 9 or 10-year gap, roughly, and he's just wandering around, and he's really just pulling strings behind the scenes, making sure that the archaeologists, they find the digging site, that they get
they put it to the right museum.
Grave. Yeah, that that way he can get to her because he has everything he needs. He has the scroll, and I love that he's pulling the strings from behind, basically.
I guarantee if this was made today, well, I mean, they
made it
one today.
18 years ago, and it was bigger. Well, even if he had freaking superpowers. He could turn himself into sand and cause a storm.
But if they made this exact movie today, in that time frame, instead of just a like weird intertidal time jump, you would probably see him living it up. It'd kind of be like Selfless, and I hope that's the last time I ever reference that movie, where he's just like enjoying being alive
literally
again.
took me
partying.
a second to try to remember what you were talking about.
But just
So
like
it's like, what the
having
fuck?
a good time,
Oh,
because
that's right.
he's like on a ticking time bomb. He might have forever, but he has forever alone, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just he's missing something. Maybe have some like choice encounters where he just passes by this Helen character on the streets and kind of does like a double take. Just like it would be awesome to see it fleshed out a little bit more, because when you do get these like quote unquote Egyptian moments wherein he has like his lair with his like pool with the fog effects, and he's looking into the past, when you get that actual flashback, which totally feels like a silent film, just the way it's shot, the makeup, the fact that there is no dialogue, it's like sped up a little bit, and it's kind of like he's showing his wife to be, or whatever you want to call her, basically like a montage of what went down. It feels really cool. Like it's super meta. It's them watching a movie.
Just like the steam, like, just that mist rising. Like it really just has this really spooky, otherworldly vibe. But what's interesting though is it looked like a tube TV, didn't it?
Yeah, it totally does. Like the way
that's what I was thinking.
they
And then
frame
you just
it.
said, that he was the guy that basically did the 3-camera setup. It's like, yeah, he kind of established television before television was around, just in design and also in technique.
Despite him not being the DP on this, which why would he not be? Like,
But he's still, I imagine,
I'm
involved
sure-
in the visuals.
exactly.
Closely. Like he
I'm-
just gets to call all the shots.
like when look at Wally Pfister. Even if Transcendence wasn't acclaimed, when you are a
has his
DP
look, yeah.
that makes the jump, you get to pick how it's gonna be filmed.
Yeah,
like
Jess
that's,
Hall and Wally Pfister, they both got their touches in there.
And I think like. Once again, I've said this before, you could make a supercut out of this movie, because even though it's so short, it's not really worth a watch. I think this is dime a dozen material. It has a great lead actor, Boris Karloff, in one of the roles that he's memorialized for. You have like some spooky elements. The story's good enough that it's been revisited again and again and again. Like, this is literally a character that will never die. But at the same time, you're not missing out on much. For how good his makeup looks, both in the wrappings, and then even better yet, like the way his actual skin looks, and just his demeanor, how it is otherworldly. Like, this is a creature, even if he looks like a human and he's in Egypt or he's in wherever they are, there's just something about him that feels like almost like Nosferatu, like ripped out of some kind of scripture. Like it doesn't, like, there's a reason why these films now are turning into comic book movies, why they got Tom Cruise, one of the preeminent action superstars, to be the lead now. Like, I don't think people were glued to the theater in this time frame because it was quote unquote scary, but rather, like I said, like, this is a superhero film. Like, this is someone with powers beyond recognition that can get his way, and he might not be the villain here, because he does get his due, but you kind of root for him, like not in the best way, but
Not exactly. I mean,
like you don't.
When he
think
starts
it's-
killing people, and you do see that
It
from
is
the other
fucked
side,
up,
that's where I'm
but-
like, right, he is the bad guy, even though we don't know enough about him to be evil to be a bad guy. He really just wants to bring his girlfriend back. That's it.
It'd be cool. Like, I think this is part of why I do want to see the Sofia Boutella Dark Universe Tom Cruise one, is because I know Tom Cruise and her have a shared bond in the film, that she is only resurrected through his presence, and then he gets some of her powers. Like, there's some kind of give and take at play. And I have to imagine that part of that relationship is a romantic one, and maybe it's reversed, and she's the mummy and he's the guy that looks like the one that he used to be with, or something like that. I think that would be a really cool reversal of fortune. I hope that's what it is, because out of the many monsters that I have seen, both historically or currently, love almost universally is something at play there. Like, it is the reason why someone went, like, look at My Bloody Valentine, or like Black Christmas. Well, maybe less Black Christmas. But generally speaking, like, someone did something bad, or they got hurt, or like Phantom of the Opera, for instance. Like, that's about someone who's scarred and just ugly and just wants love, or like Beauty and the Beast. Like,
That's usually that's the main motivation of anyone's actions.
Yeah, in these type
those
of
stories.
films.
Yeah, definitely not Black Christmas.
yeah, not Black Christmas. That's a That one fucks with
This though, man, I think I liked it probably a little less this time, because it is a lot slower, especially
It's
in
a
that
real
second half.
slow
I
movie.
think the best stuff is in that first half. But it's the iconography in this.
It's that close up.
Yeah,
That's
just
a
that's
spooky
yeah, the
shot.
spooky vibe. Just Bella, no, not Bella Lugosi.
Another one.
Just Boris Karloff's face.
The way his eyes get big, and he almost puts a spell on you. The way he's looking at you.
Yeah, all that's enough for me to say that this is a silver dollar. Because it's definitely one of my least favorite of the Universal monster movies. Like, it's one which I really didn't have any desire to rewatch on my own. That the best excuse that I have to do that is to watch it for this show. It's definitely not one. The Invisible Man is a lot
That's
of
a
fun.
rewatch.
The Frankenstein
That's a fun
films are fucking fantastic. But I think at this core, just this character, just trying to bring back his love and trying to recreate something from his past, but that basically being impossible because their time has passed and he's got no choice but to move on. I do think that actually does hit pretty deep, and for me, I think it's really good just on that basis. But yeah, it's not the best, but it's definitely worth checking out.
It's timely, it's iconic, it has a great cast, and it's shot really, really well. And like I said, I think there's some moments here, especially the flashback sequences in Egypt, that just work superbly. Like, it is great filmmaking, but the story that you get, or if you can even call it a story, this very loose structure that wasn't even put into place. The name of the movie wasn't The Mummy until like 3 months before its release. Like, they were just selling this literally Boris Karloff as the Mummy. Like, that was the selling point, and it kind of shows. Like, he doesn't really have any characterization. You understand his motives as, I'm lonely, I want my girlfriend back, I'm gonna get her back, but he never really says anything. Like, even with him helping them find her tomb, or better than that, when he's in the museum,
he is the strongest character in this, even if he's not that fleshed out.
Yeah,
we have not talked about Helen and Frank.
Oh, they're bad.
I mean, barely. Like, yeah, she's just part Egyptian.
He's the son of this explorer that unearthed Imhotep, and Frank's helped unearth Anuxina moon.
Yeah, evidently he realizes that he loves this girl because he fell in love with the sight of a mummy, and she kind of looks
her
like
ancestor.
That was the explanation. I was like, really?
When he's playing with her clothes and her toiletries, and
once we get
got
through this,
to know
I
her,
will love you.
Yeah,
like, really. Like,
that was the worst fucking freaky ass line.
Just the time, man.
Well, even worse than that, like the way she is propositioned, where he's like, "Look, she's like, I don't think I want to have sex right now." And he's like, "Me either. I'm usually not this person, but we have to do it." And then they start making out. Like, it's like what the like that would never work in a million thousand. Like, especially he's taking advantage of this person. She basically just got roofied.
Time was not kind to that aspect of the movie.
I think that's the reason why it just doesn't stand up that well.
Yeah, it's really about Boris Karloff himself. That's he is the one that headlines it, but yeah, you get the most character-wise from him.
Thanks for listening. We hope it's been a pleasure. If you like this show and you want to hear more of our wonderful voices on a weekly basis, check out 2 Cents. I'll recap what's happened in film, TV, and tech news.
We're also on the titular Dollar Review Show, a spoiler-free critique of new releases or anything we've discovered on our own, whether that be TV, music, etc.
You can find all of our content at dollarreviews.net. Follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook at Dollar Reviews.
And we're also on Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, just about anywhere on the internet with hours of content available to you for free. But for those of you that feel that the show is worth your dollar, you can send us a donation at patreon.com/dollarreviews. Contributions not only earn our undying love, but they also make it possible for us to improve our recording equipment and to give you the highest quality episodes possible. But more importantly, they'd be helping us acquire the content to review. Trips to the multiplex are expensive, and the more donations we receive, the more films we can review for your listening pleasure.
If you listen somewhere we're currently not available, you'd like to contribute some talking points, send a Death to Cinema request, or if you just want to laugh at us, you can do so by reaching out to us on social media or send an email to brian@dollarreviews.net.
Or you can email me as well, steve@dollarreviews.net.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at Brian Gillis, that's BRYONGILLIS, and now you know how to spell the email too, and also under the same name on the lovely site Letterboxd, which acts as my film diary, where I rate films I'm watching, write the occasional review, and even sometimes compile lists.
You can also find me on Twitter at S_MTX, and also follow my film diary at Letterboxd under the same name, where I log everything I watch, and sometimes write brief reviews.
That's it for this week. Until next time, keep the change.